Welcome to Color Commentary, a podcast where the stories shaping our world are told in black and white first, and then we dig into their deeper meaning in full color. Each week, I'll be bringing you the news like this. First, we'll start with what I like to call the black and white section, a clear, straight-shooting rundown of the facts in the traditions of greats like Ed Bradley, Walter Cronkite, and the classic voices of journalism. Then we'll shift into the Color Commentary section where I add my own personal opinions and insight. Sometimes it'll just be me. Sometimes we'll have guests, but let's figure out together exactly what this show can be with your feedback shaping the journey. Let's get into it. Today's topic has me feeling a kind of a way. We're talking about the quarter zip movement. Young black men trading in their Nike Techs for business casual, their coffee for matcha, their YN identity for something they're calling young gentlemen. But to understand why this matters, we need to talk about what a YN actually is. These teenagers and young adults are calling themselves young niggas. And I got complicated feelings about how adults are responding to this. Here are the facts in black and white. In November, 21-year-old Jason Giamfi, and if I said your name wrong, my apologies, but Jason from the Bronx posted a TikTok video that would spark a cultural phenomenon. In the video, which has now been viewed over 1.5 million times, Jason declared, "I'm a quarter zip dude now. I don't do that Nike Tech stuff that y'all little boys do. I'm feeling a little performative today. I might even get a matcha." His friend added, "We don't do Nike Tech. We don't do coffee. It's straight quarter zips and matchas around here." Within weeks, the trend exploded across social media platforms. The hashtag quarter zip has generated over 50 million views on TikTok. Young black men across the country began documenting their style transformations, trading athletic streetwear for business casual pullovers. The movement has sparked real-world gatherings. In Chicago recently, dozens of young black men met at Sean Michelle's homemade ice cream in Bronzeville for what they called the Chicago Quarter Zip Link-Up. The organizers, Corey Phillips, 22, along with Ian Alphonse, Langston Harris, Justin Vincent, and Kobe Lofton, plan to continue the monthly meetups through an initiative called Biz Block Shy. According to the Chicago Sun-Times, Phillips, a senior at North Central College who founded a financial literacy company, said, "It started as something kind of funny, but I think it's something positive. We see a lot of trends that promote a lot of negativity, like youth doing things that aren't productive. The terminology at the center of this movement requires clear explanation. YN stands for young nigga, a term young black males, particularly teenagers, use to self-identify. The movement represents these young men transitioning from YN to what they're calling YG, young gentlemen. Major brands have taken notice. Nike, which built significant market share with its tech suits in black communities, has begun promoting its own quarter zip apparel. According to fashion industry analysis, quarter zip sweaters, which retail from about $25 on Amazon to over $200 for premium brands, have seen a 40% increase in sales among young black male consumers in the past 2 months. The response has been sharply divided. Supporters see it as young black men taking control of their image and projecting professionalism. Critics have labeled it respectability politics and conformity to white corporate culture. Christina Steed, an adjunct professor in DePaul University's College of Communication who specializes in multicultural marketing, told the Chicago Sun-Times, fashion, especially for black men, has always carried meaning beyond the surface. It's a conversation with society about who they are and how they want to be seen. Marquand Jones, president of the Chicago Fashion Coalition, views the trends as a continuation of black fashion movements, telling reporters that black Americans have always had diverse style expressions. Social media reactions have been particularly intense. TikTok user at me Haley Shea posted a video saying, "I'm actually so proud of them. I never thought the day would come. Thought they could never earn any respect back. Still not a fan of them, but I hope more movements like this happen." There's a lot in that comment and that statement. Meanwhile, others have criticized the movement. TikTok creator Antonio Speaks called it anti-black and a way to shame black culture and put white culture on a pedestal. T-Pain joined the trend on social media, posting himself in a quarter zip with the caption, 401k and a quarter zip, garnering over 300,000 likes. Economic factors may be at play. Coffee prices have surged 41% year over year, while matcha, though facing potential shortages, has become associated with wellness culture and higher socioeconomic status. There's a lot there, but that's the news. Now let's talk about it. You're listening to Color Commentary with Dr. Cole. I have a few different thoughts on this story. All right, let me get into it. And I'm going to keep it real with you. We got 14, 15, 16-year-old black boys walking around calling themselves young niggas. Like in schools, like YNs, like in front of their teachers. YN. That's what they brand themselves as. And look, let me be honest. I've called myself some wild things over the years. We all have. That's part of growing up. It's part of figuring out who you are. These young men calling themselves YNs, they have to start their own evolution. They have to start, not the end. But here's what concerns me. When adults co-sign this without question, without context, without helping these young males understand the weight of that identity in a society that already sees them as less than human, what are we doing? And I get it. I get the redefining nature that we do. I'm a person who's been young before. Like, I'm one of those people that does say nigga. I've said it a bunch. I grew up around people saying it, right? So I understand. I understand. I think this notion of taking this negativity aimed at you and repurposing it, I think there can be some empowering factors in that. Like, I truly do. Let me take you back. Because those who do not know history are doomed to repeat it, though, okay? The late 80s, early 90s, Central Park 5, that would become the Exonerated 5, the 5 young black and Latino boys from Harlem falsely accused of raping a white investment banker. You know what the media called them? A wolf pack. It said they were wilding, which is a term that I kind of still use. Just have to call out my own hypocrisies here. But the perception of young black males as inherently dangerous played into every terrible thing that happened to those boys. Donald Trump took out a full-page ad in 4 New York newspapers calling for their execution. These were children, and he wanted them dead for a crime that they didn't commit. He didn't see them as kids. He saw them as adults, partially because of racism. And the race and the things that feed that racism are the stereotypes that people have when they see young black males, to which I know very well, very profoundly, very personally. But here's what really gets me, and this is hard to say. Well, not really, because it's the truth. Bell Hooks, the legendary black feminist scholar, she wrote about those boys in 1990 like they were guilty. In her essay, Reflections on Race and Sex, she analyzed the case through the lens of patriarchal violence, writing about these young men as if they had actually committed this horrible crime. She wrote, and I'm quoting directly, "The sexist, misogynistic, patriarchal ways of thinking and behaving that are glorified in gangster rap are a reflection of the prevailing values in our society, values created and sustained by white supremacist capitalist patriarchy." That's a valid critique of misogyny in hip hop. She was using the Central Park 5 case, where 5 innocent black boys were being railroaded, as her example. She never retracted those statements, even after Matthias Reyes confessed in 2002 and those boys were exonerated. To my knowledge, she hasn't apologized. Maybe she did before she passed and I missed it. If so, please drop a link, let me know. I have no problem saying when I get something wrong. Still have profound respect for Bell Hooks. But even her, as brilliant as she was, fell into the trap of seeing young black males as guilty first, human second. But let me tell you about people who saw our young black males differently. Dr. Jawanza Kunjufu, who we lost this past April at 71. This brother wrote Countering the Conspiracy to Destroy Black Boys. You see, I have it. You see my copy always. It's one of my favorite books. It's all marked up. It has Post-it notes and markings all through it, right? It's shaped me in a lot of ways. It's helped me learn things about myself. It's helped me educate other people that look like me. But I digress. Dr. Kunjufu said, the conspiracy against our black males is fundamentally rooted in the need of a white minority to control the world's far greater population of black people and people of color. See, he understood that the way society sees our young men affects how they see themselves. He identified something called the fourth grade failure syndrome. That critical point when young black boys' natural curiosity and eagerness to learn, that's when it starts to die. Why? Because they start to understand how the world sees them. They start to internalize that they're seen as problems, not people. Dr. Kunjufu said, our children do not need charity. They need investment. Not charity, investment. There's a difference. Dr. Howard Fuller consistently advocates for black boys. Dr. Steve Perry sent 100% of his predominantly black and Latino male students to four-year colleges. Dr. Pedro Negura at USC says, we must move from seeing black males as problems to be solved to seeing them as assets to be developed. See, these are the voices we need to be listening to, not the ones that see our boys as inherently broken or dangerous. Now back to this quarter zip movement. I'm deeply conflicted about it. Right? On the one hand, I see young brothers trying to level up, trying to present themselves as professionals, as serious. I respect it. I love it, actually. Should be able to wear what we want when we want. That's freedom. But see, here's what troubles me. Why are we running from being called young niggas instead of questioning why our children are calling themselves that in the first place? And why does putting on a quarter zip suddenly make you respectable? Like drinking matcha instead of coffee changes your values as a human being. That's not how it works. And for the record, I want to just say, for you young boys that are feeling good about yourself with your quarter zips and your matchas, and man, keep going. It feels good to put a suit on. I know this because I never knew how good it felt until another black man. Okay, didn't just have me put on a tie because I had a basketball game. You got to wear ties, but somebody took me into a men's warehouse, got me fitted for a suit, taught me how to stand in it, taught me how to adjust my tie, and I'm not gonna lie, it did feel good. I like wearing suits. I also like wearing sweatsuits. So I'm not gonna deny these young people whatever feeling that they're feeling that's making them feel better about themselves. We just have to interrogate it as responsible adults that love our community. We just have to interrogate it because black boys that get the short end of the stick turn to black males afflicted and affected by constantly getting the short end of the stick. I do my own research about this, right? And my nerdy shit will come out later on. But right now I want to just start with some of those people that I listed and continue to just break this down so we can have a conversation about it. See, these boys need to be able to move in and out of space as well. They got to be able to know and discern what to do in space A versus space B. That's just living life. That's just maturity. Everybody has to do it. And every race in some form or fashion, I would say to a lesser degree for some groups, but it still happens. They need to also know that they can fully be themselves in their community and navigate professional environments. They need to know that they're loved, not just by us, but by society as a whole. And that's where we're failing them because society as a whole does not love them. I can talk about society needing to love these boys. I can talk about society needing to not necessarily fear them or fetishize them or not to tokenize them, but to love them, to see them as brilliant, creative, evolving human beings and to see their potential for the world. But it's just not reality. And we can't control how other people feel. So in lieu of that, you have to help people navigate the reality. See, I told you I was going to get into my nerdy stuff. I think about my work with the Agentic Institute. That is where Energy Converters, my program, is now housed. It's the newer nonprofit, but we struck out on our own. Hopefully we'll be able to partner with universities and things like that in the future, because I think this institute around agency and agentic behavior, and whether it's black boys or girls or families, I just think it's important work. And I think this concept and this issue falls directly into it. And this is what the institute would take up. See, at the Agentic Institute, we train students as legitimate education researchers through our Agentic Fellows program. We teach them that they are researchers, they are scholars, and they are intellectuals right now. Forrest Gump once said, stupid is as stupid does, so what's good for the goose got to be good for the gander. You are a researcher if you're researching. You are a scholar if you're being scholarly. You're an intellectual if you're being intellectual. If you get into that work, if you get into doing those things on a consistent basis, then you are. If stupid is as stupid does, then intellectual is as intellectual does. Which also is making a statement for us, the adults, the black men that are going to be watching this. And sometimes I don't feel worthy to do this stuff because I do. And I have made dumb mistakes. I still continue to. I'm still also learning and growing and evolving. Sometimes I do stupid stuff. It's just that it's a different tightrope act for different communities than it might be for other ones. You get what I'm saying? So these people in the Agentic Institute, they are researchers, they are scholars, and they are intellectuals right now. Not when they change their clothes, not when they code switch, not when they stop calling themselves young niggas. Right now, they are. My A&D framework that I developed, awareness, navigation, and duty, it's about understanding the game and changing it, not just playing it better. Maybe this quarter zip thing is navigation. Maybe these young men are saying, we see how society views us and we're going to present ourselves differently. I can respect that as a survival strategy, but we can't stop at navigation. We need awareness, understanding why a young black man in a Nike Tech is seen as dangerous while the same youth, the same young man, the same young black male in a quarter zip is seen as respectable. It's not about the clothes. That's about people being anti-black. And we need duty. Using whatever gains we make to change the system, not just conform to it. See, when those 5 boys were called the Central Park 5, when they were convicted of a crime they didn't commit, it wasn't because of what they wore. It was because how society saw them as young niggas who must be guilty of something heinous. And young people should get to mature. They should get to grow up. A teenager trying to find himself shouldn't be locked into an identity that could get him killed or incarcerated. I'm in my 40s, and I'm still learning about myself, still evolving. But you have to live to do that. You need to be free to do that. I mean, it can happen inside behind those walls, but it's much more difficult. And let me say something else that needs to be said, because I hate this. I hate this notion. I hate this anti-blackness that we put on ourselves. Success ain't white. We got to stop this shit where we associate everything negative with black and everything positive with white. It pisses me off, man. It pisses me off when people say being late is CP time, colored people time. No, stop that ignorant shit right now. I usually joke about it, and I'll continue to joke about it because I know most people are not saying it in some self-hating way, okay? Let me not. But you say it enough, it gets in the lexicon, and then people outside of your groups start to put that on you and label that to your people. So maybe a resume comes down to 2 people. It's a young black man and somebody who's not a young black man. Well, you know them niggas is always late. They even got a name for it. CP time. Let's go with the other. We'll start having a joke, a fun thing that we can connect over. Because everybody can make jokes about themselves, right? Like I live life. I live in the real world. Black people have jokes about black people. Mexican people have jokes about Mexican people. Thai people have jokes about Thai people. White people have jokes about white people. We smart enough to discern. But somehow, our stuff always just catches fire in different ways and starts to impact you outside of the joke. Because here's the thing about CP time, which doesn't exist. I'm going to tell you a secret. Everybody is late sometimes. White people, Asian people, everybody. But when we say that stupid CP time thing, we're ingraining in people that it's okay to be late because you were black. And that's not culture. That's self-sabotage. We are not pre-programming ignorance into our children. And here's the other thing, because I'm out in these streets, I do touch grass, right? Somebody will be able to really articulate in a beautiful way how we used to be more communal back in Africa and things didn't run on traditional Western time. So you kind of did things and I get it. And I will listen to it. I've heard it, right? Like I honor where we come from. I honor that. Sometimes cats just late. It's not some deep-seated patronage or honor that we're trying to pay to our ancestors, okay? But let's do this if we're going to play that game. If we're going to tribute things to blackness. You want to know what's black? Being thoughtful to your community, that's black. Not cursing in front of the church steps or in front of elders. That's black. Taking care of the elderly and children in your community. That's black. Raising your family with love and discipline. That's black. Being creative, innovative, resilient. That's black. Utilizing everything at your disposal to create something new that starts with survival and then turns into thrival. That's black. Building businesses, creating art, making music that the whole world wants to copy. That's black. Turning struggle into strength. That's black. Maintaining joy despite oppression. That's black. Fighting for justice while standing and finding reasons to celebrate. That's black culture. Not being late, not being unprofessional, not calling yourself a young nigga like it's something to be proud of. You see how you kind of get to pick and choose, right? In the same way, I proudly and will always proudly stand and say that all those things that I just called black are black. I'm not mad at somebody from a different culture listening to that and being like, yeah, and that's us too. And that's me too. Listen, I'm not mad at the stories we tell ourselves for our community. Somebody should look up myth making. I was talking about this in my Black Men's Book Club and the importance of myth making. It's an important cultural practice. You see it a lot in rap. They're probably not calling it myth making, but when you're overly boisterous and like, you know, saying things that might not be true, but it makes you look good, it's kind of popping your shit, popping your collar. They're myth making. John Henry, the steel driving man. It's a form of myth making. Not saying you should like the story or not like the story. I'm just telling you, I'm just giving you examples of what myth making is. So when these young men put on quarter zips thinking that they're becoming white or professional, they're missing the point. And not the young men, right? Because if the young men are doing it, are doing it because and seeing themselves that way, then I think they're missing the point. But I don't think that they are. I don't think the majority of them are. I think it's just something that makes them feel good. And I think young black males have always had a knack for busting the system, right? For like, whatever you think about us, we're about to do something different. Y'all like tight pants? Well, it's the 90s. We about to be baggy. All right, baggy start happening. Everybody start doing it. Okay, well, we about to bring those pants back in. And now you're seeing another cycle where baggy is coming back. Black men and black women. What we are as black people are culture setters. We're a few other things too. I'm going to get into that. It'll come back up. So when these young black men put on quarter zips thinking that they're becoming white or professional, I don't like if that's why they're doing it. But I think there's a lot of people outside of them that's putting that on them. That's saying, well, that's white shit. You got to be white to enjoy matcha? It's at fucking Starbucks. You know, the same place that says chai tea? As Beyond the Spider-Verse has shown us. And any friend from that region of the world will say, you sound stupid because you're saying TT. Well, Starbucks says TT and makes billions of dollars. Oh, man. Listen, professionalism isn't white. Excellence isn't white. Success isn't white. These are human qualities that we've all had and that we always had. Black people, we built pyramids, man. We were the Moors who brought mathematics to Europe. We were the inventors, the innovators, the creators who contributed, whose contributions constantly get erased from the history books. Even just recently, excellence is in our DNA. So is resilience. And here's the thing, I'm never mad when other cultures go on their own stuff. They should be proud of who they are. So my message to the young brothers, man, wear your quarter zip if you want. Keep your Nike Tech if that's you. And also, Nike Techs ain't cheap, y'all. I have some Nike Techs, okay? They're not cheap. I don't just suggest you just go throwing those away all willy-nilly. Shit is expensive. Nike, y'all know these Nike Techs is way too expensive. I have Nike Techs, and on top of the Nike Techs, I have the regular, just plain Jane Nike sweatsuits that are so much cheaper. And might I add, I think that they are softer. The material feels better on my skin. But anyway, that's just me. Your worth isn't determined by whether you drink coffee or matcha. You might not like either. Your worth isn't defined by your wardrobe. Young black man watching this, or person that's watching this that works with young black male, you are at the beginning of something beautiful, your own evolution. And whether you call yourself YN today or YG tomorrow, know that you're valuable right now, as you are, where you are. And what I want you to understand is that the world is going to try to put you in a box based on what you wear, what you call yourself, how you present. My job, our job as the adults who love you, is to make sure you can move through all spaces. That you can, I hate the term, I said it last time, but I'll use it because everybody understands it for the most part. That you can code switch when you need to for survival, but never lose sight of who you really are. To the adults, these boys, these black males, these young black men, they're at the start of their evolution. Start. And instead of judging them for where they are, help them see where they can go. Love them through their journey. Challenge them with love, not condemnation. Show them examples of black men who succeeded in all kinds of ways, wearing all kinds of things, coming from all kinds of backgrounds. It also helps if we're not afraid of them, too. Listen, man, we need to create a society that loves young black men unconditionally, but it's never going to happen. It's not. I'm not going to feed you that dream. I'm not going to feed you that lie. I'm telling you this is a black man in front of you. I'm telling you this is a black man with multiple degrees, a doctorate degree, who owns his home, makes decent money. And every time I still get on the train, I still will see an old white lady grab her purse a little closer. It just is what it is. So I can talk about what society needs. I'll do it, you know. I can give the projection of what we should be trying to do. But that's why I built that motto, because I don't control society. But if we can build the awareness, navigation, and duty into these young boys, sky is the limit. And for you out there that's watching and just like, man, I love these young black men that's in these quarter zips. Did you love them before? Is that what it takes for you to love them? For them to be a part of you? Part of us? And I'm not going to cape for debaucherous behavior. I'm not going to cape for violence when it's not needed or warranted. Some of our young people are lost. Society has played a role in that, but we shouldn't be lifting that shit up either. See, I've been in a situation where somebody's coming home from college or somebody's coming home from jail, and the person coming home from jail gets the party. I mean, you could throw two, right? I used to visit my parents in jail, both of them. Visit my cousin in jail. I got to a point where I said, I'm never going back to a jail. I have buried so many people, and I visited so many people in jail. I remember saying this when I was still pretty young, I think 20s. I said, I'm never going to another funeral that's from some dumb shit. I will mourn in my own way. And I ain't visiting nobody else in jail. Right now, it's too much valor in it. I ain't saying turn your back on your people. If they go to jail, they do a bid. They're still human. They still need you. They still need your love. I'm just saying, if you showed that same kind of love to the young brother that's going to college or starting that business or taking care of his family or working that good 9 to 5, doing what he needs to, if you showed it with the same vigor, is when the homie get out of jail, you know how it go. Your boy get out, got a nice little fit for him, got some pocket change for him so he could feel good, some nice cologne, probably taking him to go see a young lady, something like that. I'm saying do that. Just don't, when your friend that went to college come back home, be like, oh, so now you better than us? Oh, dumb, educated ass. You think you better than us now. See, there's multiple conversations happening here. It's a conversation with society as a whole, mainly white people, but other people too, including some black people. And honestly, I'll have that conversation, but I don't really care. I can't control them. I can't love the collective whole in the same way. It's too difficult. But there's also a conversation here about how we love ourselves and the reflections that feed off on these other young people. You don't think that young brothers and Pooh Shiesties and Nike Techs or whatever that are falling back into that late 80s, early 90s trope that was false, by the way? You don't think society pushed that on them? You don't think people in our own community pushed that on them? You don't think that they didn't learn early on that their feelings don't matter? They can't have fear. If they have fear, they can't show it. You don't think that, like, when you see I was programmed, and I'm a nerd. I have never wanted any problems. I have no problem saying that. I had 2 parents in jail. I come from that shit. I didn't want no parts of it. I only got to talk to you on the jail phone once. I only got to watch my mother and father do skywriting from county to each other once. I'm sure there's some racist factors out of our control that push that in there. But you got to fight it. You got to resist it. But I'm telling you from my own experience, I was programmed to not smile. It's a sign of weakness. When you see another black man or another black boy, even as kids, we was doing this stupid shit. You looking them up and down. You showing your teeth like a damn dog. I try to smile as much as I can now. Not for other people. Not to shrink myself. Because it fucking feels good. Because it's good when smaller versions of you, when you're giving that smaller version of you permission to be happy, to smile. And when it comes from somebody that respects, somebody that they don't think is a sucker, and they see it, there's something, a wall breaks down, and it's like, oh, I can do this. I can do this too. In the spirit of this conversation, young men, release yourselves from the spirit of having to be on a fucking beach in Timberlands or tennis shoes and socks. It's a beach. Enjoy the sand, man. I don't know who told you that you can't. I digress. Now, let me get back to this, because I don't know, I can't tell society what will happen, but what it should do is it should create a society that loves young black men unconditionally. It won't. It should build a society that loves them, whether they're in quarter, zips, or Nike Techs, and anything in between. It won't. Maybe we shouldn't just love them when they're speaking the King's English, not just when they're conforming to respectability politics, but always. And when we do see some black boy or male speaking the King's English, when we do see some young black male striving for something better, it don't mean that he don't love his community or he ain't proud of who he is or where he came from. The mental fallacies that have been created, staggering. It's so much scar tissue that you got to dig through. Here's the truth. A young black man should be able to walk through this world in any outfit and be seen as fully human. The fact that we're even having a conversation about whether a quarter zip makes you more respectable than a Nike Tech shows how far we still have to go. Dr. Kunjufu said, it takes a village to raise strong, capable children. We should be that village, trying to be that village. Are we that village yet? In some places, yeah. But let me remind you, whether they're in quarter zips or Nike Techs or whatever, these are our children. Investment means believing in their journey, their evolution, their process. It means loving them through their mistakes and their triumphs. It means seeing them not as problems to be solved, but as miracles in progress. These young men transitioning from YN to YG, they're not running from who they are. They're exploring who they might become. And that's beautiful. That's growth. It's evolution. My message to them is simple. Keep evolving. Keep growing. Keep exploring. You're going to make mistakes. It's fine. Try on different identities, different styles, different ways of being. You might like it. Dabble in what's supposed to be relegated to other races or other groups. You might love chai. Damn it, go be the black young man that builds a chai empire. You may love Scottish culture. Let me see the black Braveheart, B. This world is your oyster, man. It is. And since in your blood, you got the DNA of people who are the kings and queens of remixing and taking something old and building something new. The world is better when you're dabbling. So dabble. Dabble as much as you want. That's your journey. That's your right. And know that those of us who really love you will love you through all of it. And even if they don't, you got to love yourself enough. You have to love yourself enough for when the world doesn't love you. And there will be times when it doesn't. The revolution doesn't start with a sweater. It starts with love, radical, unconditional love for our young black males. It's exactly as they are, while supporting them and becoming everything they can be. You are loved, you are valuable, you are necessary, and you're just getting started. And I am sorry if you don't feel that love at home. I am sorry if you don't feel that love in your community. I am sorry if you don't feel it in your school, in your church, in your mosque. I don't know what you believe in, but I believe that God loved me. And I believe God had me. And I believe he loved and had me in the moments where I could not love and have myself. And I know everybody doesn't have that. And there were times where I struggled with it. And then a black man somewhere would show up and tell me I'm enough. And it meant the world to me. So that mentor out there from so long ago that just said, man, I don't want these kids just to throw on these ties because they got a basketball game or this, that, and the third, or because they going on a job interview or a funeral. Let me take them to Men's Warehouse and show them what a man's supposed to look like in a suit and the different styles and variations they could do. Let me show them that they could feel something from this. And even if you're a young black male out there that don't ever want to wear a suit, don't like it, they could sell out. Guess what? Even if you never do, you still worthy of love, bruh. And it's okay to smile. And part of growing up and learning how to be a man, a black man, is knowing your surroundings, knowing what you can and can't do in those surroundings, and always remembering where your center is. If any of you want to reach out, I don't think I'm the best mentor. I really ain't got a ton of time, but I'll respond. I'll show you some kind of love. I'll send some things your way. But keep going, man. Because I love me. And because I love me, that means that I love you. Because you are a part of me. I was once you. If you're watching the video, you see how I look? Still Dr. Cole. Still like Jordans. Still like suits. I can do both. And I think I do both pretty damn well. Thank you for listening to Color Commentary. We love to hear from you. So drop us an email at colorcommentarypod@gmail.com. Again, that's colorcommentarypod@gmail.com. And if you like what you hear, please subscribe to the show. Leave us a 5-star rating. Share it on social media. And join us every Thursday for more Color Commentary with Dr. Cole. And remember, we dig into similar topics and deeper topics like this on the South Star Classroom live every Tuesday at 5 p.m. on Central Time. You can just find it on my YouTube, Dr. Charles Cole III. Search for it there. You can also find it on my LinkedIn. Just find my name. And yeah, this conversation is going to be interesting with my co-hosts. We're a beautifully mixed group. We have two Latino brothers, and we have two black people, me and Jubilee, so a black man and a black woman. You know, so some of these, it's going to be an interesting conversation because I struggle with conversations at time in that group that I feel should be in-house conversations. You know what I mean? What I mean by that is like kind of a conversation that should happen with and amongst black people, because there's some things in there that we can kind of get at. And listen, I appreciate when other groups do that, right? Like I know when my Mexican homies is having a private conversation, it is not my conversation to be at. It's like when you and somebody at a friend's house and their parents start arguing, you just kind of excuse yourself. It's like, yeah, this is the sanctity of their home. You know, people got to work some things out. I think we all got some things to work out, but we're going to have this discussion. So catch that episode as well. Yeah, these can be complicated conversations, but that's exactly why we need to have them. So until next time, this is Dr. Charles Cole III reminding you, stay conscious, stay critical, and stay committed to the advancement of our people. And also take care of yourselves and take care of each other. God bless y'all. Peace out.